Hey there, Aurelie here from withhisgifts.com. Welcome and thank you so much for stopping by. Today I have a brand new video tutorial for you, but first I want to briefly touch on some things that will explain why I've been MIA for a bit. So first of all, I got a new job after being home for about a year, so a lot of my time has been devoted to getting acclimated to that new normal and all the balancing acts that it requires. So super busy with that. And then I also wanted to mention that I know that I've been off and on with Stampin' Up! For a while. There always seems to be things that come into play that prevent me from having the time to dedicate to my customers. And that is unfair to you, my customers, and my new job is one of those things. So I really don't see that Stampin' Up! Fits into my life in this season. So I will no longer be a demonstrator. I will be a hobbyist demonstrator, but just not for the business aspect of it, because I just do not have the time, that one needs in order to make that work. So if you need a demonstrator, feel free to hit me up. I'll be happy to refer you to an amazing demonstrator that will take care of all your needs. So with that said, I will continue to make videos and to share my love of crafting with you. However, I will probably be crafting with mostly non-Stampin' Up! Products. Reason being is that my husband is employed by the world's largest creative arts distributor, and I get to partake on his amazing discount. And seriously, I'd be dumb not to put my crafting dollars where I'm going to get the most bang. So with that said, I hope that you'll continue to join me on my crafting journey and that I can help to inspire you to transform paper into little works of art. So if you have any questions about anything that I have said, feel free to head on over to my blog, click on the contact link, and hit me up with any questions that you have. I'll be happy to answer your questions there. But for now, let's get on with crafting. Today I am sharing my swap that I put together for Tamika over at SCRAPDAWORLD. Her latest swap, the gift card holder / 3x3 note card / pocket letter card swap. I'm always super excited to get into one of her swaps. They are so much fun, and I get to be inspired by all the talented people that end up in my group. So let's get going with the craft. So let's dive right in with our note card. I have a piece here of the Recollections by Michaels heavyweight cardstock. It is cut at 6 inches by 3 and it's scored at 3 inches. Piece of this lovely pattern paper that comes from the Kaisercraft Fairy Garden paper pad, and that is cut at 2 7/8 by 2 7/8 inches. This lovely blush pink cardstock comes from the Rose Petal cardstock collection, also by Recollections at Michaels. That is cut at 2 1/4 by 2 1/4, and it is embossed using my Cuttlebug Swiss dots. That's a throwback. This came with my Cuttlebug many years ago, but I used that to emboss these lovely dots on this paper here. I have a Doodlebug mini paper doily in lily white that we will be using. Some more of the lovely paper by Kaisercraft. This is cut at 3 inches by 3/4 of an inch, and then the corners are flagged. Next I have a scalloped square that is cut from the Recollections heavyweight cardstock. I created this in Photoshop and cut it using my Cricut, but if you have a die, that will cut out a scallop square for you. That will work. This measures, let's see here, 2 3/8 by 2 3/8 inches. I have a piece of the leaf trim by Hobby Lobby in white. Next, these two lovely pieces come from the Vintage Notes Ephemera Print and Cut Kit by Shabby Dabby Doodah over on Etsy. And then I have some quilting thread here that I'm going to use. Okay, let's dive right in. I have my card base here. I'm going to fold it on my score line. And sometimes my scoring is a little bit off, but we can fix that. I think, yeah, we can fix it. We can fix it. All right, let's crease that so it lays somewhat flat. This is really heavy duty cardstock here. All right, so we have that. Next layer is this lovely piece. I'm going to use my glitter glue, and I'm going to try to move quickly because we have 3 projects to get through. They're fairly easy. I have all the cutting and stuff done in advance, so as long as I can keep my talking to a minimum, we should be good. All right, so I don't know if I mentioned I'm using art glitter glue. That is my favorite. It dries really strong. The trade-off is that it dries really fast, so you have to be fast and not place it, don't press down until you know it's where you want it, because when you press, that's it, you are committed forever. Okay, so I centered that on the front of my card. Next step is these 2 lovely pieces. So I have my scallop square and then my lovely pink embossed piece. I am going to join those together, okay, just like that. Then this gets centered on the front of the card. So there, that's what we have so far. Isn't that beautiful? Next, we're going to go ahead and grab our doily, and I'm moving super fast because I really want to share these projects with you, but I don't want to take your whole entire day as I do it. Okay, so what I did was cut this in half because this doily is lovely and it's tiny, but it's still too big for my card as it covers up the whole front of it, and we do not want that. So I cut it in half. Next, I'm going to line up this high, this mountain, I guess, with this mountain. So the second one from here with the first one from here. I don't know. You do what works for you, but I'm just cutting off this little piece here, and I am so OCD that I need to be symmetrical. So I'm cutting that off, and then I'm left with that. And that is how I found that I can fit this doily into my project without covering up the front. So I'm doing the same thing with this one. And again, you probably have a super duper easy way of doing this, but my OCD butt has to be complicated. All right, so next, let's go ahead and put some glue just in the center of this piece of the doily. I'm going to center it at the top. Not quite at the top, just about 1/8 of an inch down, so we can see some of that lovely embossing behind it. And we're going to do the same thing with this one. And then we're going to overlap it like so. Center, just like that. And I know it doesn't look pretty, but this little piece here will cover it up in a second. But first we're going to go ahead and grab our thread, and I'm going to wrap that around. First, First, I'm going to lay the glue down here in the center, just randomly. That's going to hold our thread in place. Next, I'm going to take my 3 fingers. You may take more or less depending on the size of your hand, but I found 3 works for me. And I wrap it around maybe 8, 9, 10 times. I don't know. Just wrapping. Okay? And then we will snip it. And just place it onto that glue. Right, there we go. Does not look pretty, but it will, I promise you. Now we get to cover up most of that not so pretty stuff. I'm going to grab this little strip here, and I'm going to put some glue down. And a little of this glue goes a long way. It's super strong. So that's what we have so far. This is beautiful mess. So the next thing I'm going to do is grab the piece of my leaf trim. And what I like to do is just put a little dab of the glue on the bottom of the leaf where it meets the stem. So each of the leaves have just a little bit of glue. Then I'm going to grab each end carefully. I will grab you. Okay. And then we're going to line that across the little banner piece that we just put down. Then just press down on your leaves where you put the glue to secure it. And there is that. Isn't that beautiful? Okay, so there is the canvas for these lovely pieces. Now this has flowers printed across the heart already, but I thought it added more dimension to add a bigger cluster of flowers from the kit. So that's what I did. And I'm putting some glue down. Then I'm going to center, covering the flowers that are down below. Okay, just like so. Pressing down. And then finally I am going to grab me some dimensionals, and I'm going to pop this heart up so that it so the little card has more dimension. I am going to peel off my backing, and then we're gonna plop that right onto the front center of our card. And there is our note card. Isn't she beautiful? So we had to have a matching envelope for our note card, and these are 3x3 envelopes from Stampin' Up, and I just use some of that lovely paper to line the flap on the back so that it matches beautifully. See, so beautiful. But there's my note card. So the next thing that we're gonna do is the ATC card. So I have my pieces here. Here's a rectangle scallop, same thing. I created this on my Cricut. It's 2.5 by 3.5. On the back, we had to answer some questions. What is your YouTube channel name? With his gifts. What is your favorite color to craft with? Blush, rose pink, my most favorite. Gift under $5 that you like to receive. Doilies, doilies, doilies. And flowers, but mostly doilies. And then your favorite Christmas tradition. Mine is reading the story of the birth of Jesus on Christmas Eve, because that is what Christmas is all about, at least in my heart. So there's that. We have a piece of that lovely pink from the Recollections. It's 2.25 by 3.25. Piece of the lovely pattern paper from the Kaisercraft Fairy Garden. And that is cut at 2 1/8 by 3 1/8. And then these lovely pieces are from the collection, the Vintage Notes Ephemera collections that we will be using. And then this little lovely thing is a cut file that I found, and I'll have the link to it. I think this is Tim Holt's birdcage. But I made it small, and I cut 4 layers of just the regular cardstock from Recollections and glued them together so that it's nice and thick and sturdy. But those are the pieces that we'll be using, and we're going to go ahead and get started. So making sure that you know, this is face up would suck to be done, and have your card facing one way and the writing on the back another. That would not be fun. But anyways, getting my glue, and I'm gonna just put it down softly, make sure it's nice and centered for me, and then I will pinch all the way around and then rub it down. Rub it down like that. Next layer is the lovely pattern paper. This one's going to be super easy. Centering, pinching, rubbing. There we go. Just like that. My notes. And this vintage, there is so much more to the pieces, so much more to the kit than the pieces that I'm using here in these projects. So make sure that you follow that link and check it out. Pinch, pinch, pinch. Rub, rub, rub. There we go. All right. So next we have all these lovely little pieces here. So for this piece, oh, wait, there's more. There's more. I have this lace trim from Stampin' Up. I'm going to put some lace on my bird cage. So each of these horizontal lines will get some lace. And I'm going to put a little line of glue right about there, and then center my gigantic ribbon scissors. I'm going to cut off the excess. See how pretty that is? I'm going to do the same thing on the bottom here, and so just cut. Okay. All right. Next, where's my paper scissors? This is a lovely cluster of flowers, but I just want these two. So I'm going to do a little surgery, and I'm just going to cut away those two. This you can save for a project later because it's gorgeous. So this is going to go up top here. So I don't want about there. Okay. Like so. So then the next thing that we're going to do, I want to put this down here so I can eyeball where I need to put this at a diagonal. This is a cute little stamp with a heart. And we are going to put it up top. Where am I? Okay. So I'm going to put it like so. Some glue, and then I'm going to kind of angle that like so. Press down. So then I'm going to flip this over, and I'm going to grab a dimensional right here where this is hanging off of the bird cage. I want to make sure that it's sturdy, so I'm putting a little, oh, was I off? I just put a little dimensional right here, lightly applying glue to all the little pieces like so. And again, and because I had to lift this up, I'm going to put a little bit of glue on there just to make sure that it's tacky. Alrighty, and I'm slanting this a little bit so that it kind of fills the front like so. Pressing down. Isn't that gorgeous? Gorgeous. And then we have also from the kit a little word that says memories, a little bit of glue just like that. And isn't that lovely? All my information's on the back, and that is project number 2. The final project is the gift card, and I have a piece here that is cut at 4 by 10.5, and it's scored at 2.5. No, this is, I'm sorry, let me get you the proper proper measurements. 4 by 6.5. Yes, 4 by 6.5, scored at 2.5, and then 5. Okay. I have a piece of this scallop rectangle that is cut at 4.25 by 2.25, and the back is stamped with the stamp set from Stampin' Up. It's Botanical Bliss, and I used this from right here. This will be the back of my card. More of this lovely paper. This piece is cut at 4 by 2.25. Another piece, 4 and 2.25. This is, I believe, 1.5 by 4. We have a doily. We have these lovely pieces from the kit. Some more of the white leaf trim, and then we have some crinkle doily that I get from Etsy. Again, supply list will be down below and on my corresponding link. But let's go ahead and get this card done. The first thing I'm going to do is fold my score lines, get a nice crease on them. Okay, I'm going to find the piece, just a smaller piece. It's going to go right in here, like so. So there's that. So that's going to be the inside of my card. Next, I'm going to take one of these pieces, the bigger pieces, and again with the glue. Okay, here. So, there we go. All right, so there's that. Okay. So the front of the card, which is going to be this is going to close like this. So this will be my front. This piece will go here, but before we do that, I'm going to find my center and I'm going to put some glue down. Take one of the pieces of my crinkled up lovely pink seam binding, straighten it out, and then press it into the glue like so. Okay, now we can put that on the front like so. There's that. All right, so the next thing we're going to do is, again, this is going to fold over like that. I'm going to put some glue on the sides of this shorter fold right here, just on the edge right here. And then I'm going to fold that up. This is going to be a little pocket that your gift card will go in. And I'm going to make sure that that gets burnished real good so the glue will hold on tight. Okay, like so. And like so. Okay. All right, next. Here's the back, that's the to and from. This will lay down on top of it, but before we do that, we're going to get to the back of it. So again, this is the front. This is how we open it. You flip it over to the back. We're going to add some glue here. We're going to take our second piece of seam binding, straighten that up, and then just lay it down in the glue and press down like so. What we're going to do is apply glue all the way around this back side here. Okay, like so. And then we're going to make sure, first of all, because this is how this is going to be, we want to make sure that it's facing the same way. So what I like to do is pick it up and move it around, and you can see the scallop kind of poke out from behind there. All right, and then we're going to, there we go. And then now this should be dry. What I like to do is make sure that there's going to be enough room there to accommodate a gift card. So the next thing we're going to do is the doily. We're going to do the same thing we did with the first note card, which is to cut it in half and then further dissect it by folding that down, getting rid of that piece. Here, folding that down and getting rid of this piece. Okay. Glue up top, center like so, press down, glue right there, center. Okay, so now same thing, we have this longer strip of our leaf trim, but I'm just going to dot each leaf where it meets the stem on your leaves where the glue is, and you're good to go. Okay, so we have the final two pieces here. We have, again, there's flowers on this piece, but I'm going to add this, this way. And I'm going to pop it up on some dimensionals, and I have some little mini tiny dimensionals also from Stampin' Up, and I'm just going to place one behind each of these flowers. For the bigger one, the bigger piece here, we are going to put some dimensionals on that. So let's remove the backing. And then I'm going to set that right on the center of the front of my card, like so. Then we'll remove the backings, these tiny little ones. Let's lay it down right directly above those flowers that are there. Isn't that beautiful? Gift card goes there, to and from on the back. Let's go ahead and tie this little baby up. And maybe trim a little bit off the edge. There we go. And there it is. Here are the projects to make us swap. Now I'm going to go ahead and package these up. I'm going to move quickly because I know you're probably super tired. So I have some little clear bags here. I'm just going to set this, oh, wrong way. I'm going to set this in here. All right, so there's that. But the beauty is right here we have a gift bag that I'm going to create. I have a piece of that paper there, which is 10.5 by, what size is this? 10.5 by 8. Yes. And I'm going to first move stuff off of here. I need my scoreboard, and it's currently occupied by stuff. So let me get here quickly. There we go. Here's my scoreboard. I'll turn this around, and I'm going to get right here. This will work. Okay. And we're going to score at 5. So the long way, we're scoring at 5 and at 10. Stay still. And then we're gonna, the 10 score line, we're gonna bring it up this way, and then we're gonna score it half an inch. There's that. we then will fold our score lines and crease them. So next what we're going to do is right here, I'm going to cut at this core line and meet the horizontal score line. And I'm going to go past my score line a little bit, and I'll show you why in just a minute. And this is a typical little bag, but this will fold up this way, and I want to make sure that there's enough room for that to do that. Okay, so I cut this tip. I'm sorry, I am moving super fast because I know this video has been going forever and I just want to get you to the finish line. So I'm cutting that away. So that's what we have so far. I cut this away and I cut each of these corners at an angle like so. Okay, next I'm going to test to make sure that when my bag is put all together it goes good. Nope, see down here I still need to cut a little bit more, just a little shave I think, just so that it fits nice and flat with no bulk. So now let's see, so the bottom is good and the front is good, so it's not over the, it's not hanging over the edge here. So this is what you're left with. This is what your card looks like. Okay. Next we have glue. So I'm going to fold this strap in, or this flap in, and I'm putting glue around it and a little bit of glue on this edge here. Okay. Then I am going to marry the two, grab my bone folder, make sure that they are sealed and that they're not going anywhere. All right, next, glue on the bottom flap, same thing, seal that nice and tight. Okay. Now, we're almost there. I can see the finish line. So this is the top of my bag, right? I'm going to lay this with the opening this way, and I'm going to give it one more score at 1/2 inch. And that is so we can fold it over so we don't have to staple or seal it, and the recipient can reuse this lovely bag if they wish. Now, so here are the goodies that I'm including. I'm gonna shove those into the bag. And then my swap, nice and tucked away in there. Okay, just like so. Flatten a little bit, so then that little fold or crease line that we have up top, we can seal that nice and flat. Okay, and I love me some seam binding, so I'm going to wrap this up like so, cross it across the back, and I waste so much seam binding, but better to be safe than sorry. That's my motto. Okay, and this is just your typical wrapping a present. There we go. So let's leave that right there for 1 second. We have some pieces here. This is the same die cut, the bird's nest, and different pieces from the collection. And I have a scalloped here. I don't know why I didn't glue that, but I have a piece of the pattern paper that is going to be layered on top of my scallop. And you'll see what I'm going to do here in a second. Okay. So we'll do that. Then I have my handy dandy crocodile. I'm going to punch a small hole right about there. Okay. And I have some baker's twine. I am going to thread that through my bird cage hole, and I'm going to thread that through this hole, and then I'm going to get enough and clip away the rest. Come on. Alright, and then I'm going to thread my bottom underneath the bow, the seam binding bow here. And I am going to tie that and make a bow. Alright, like that. I hope this wasn't too long. I'm glad if you're still here. Thank you for sticking around. Thank you for having faith in me that I would finish. But it's a lot of projects. Alright, so now I can clip down my ribbon a little bit, like so. And then in order to protect it, I am going to stick the whole entire thing in a larger bag, like so. Okay. Let's peel this backing off, like so. And let's seal this like that. And there you have it. We reached the end. It feels so great to be back. I am looking forward to making so many more video tutorials for you. I want to thank you so much for stopping by. And if you enjoyed this video tutorial, even though it was super long, go ahead and give me a like, leave me a comment down below, and don't forget to subscribe to my channel. Until next time, thank you and have a great day.